All right, testing, publishing, journal via TradingView. Um, Today is August 14th. Looking to analyze the overall price action from today. First thing is the associated 4 hour, looking at a fair value gap that was previously uh, broken through and price is accumulating. So, obviously, with this being a replay, we see how price comes back to the gap and is then going forth towards to new highs. We're about 300 pips away from the all-time highs, and again, we're making much momentum on top of the rates being cut and data coming out earlier today. So again, main draw on liquidity that's in focus right now is this 4 hour fair value gap, or depending on how price would have happened, it would have dropped down for liquidity down here. But based on the data coming out at 5:30 being in a positive sense, let's drop down to the lower time frame and see how this reacted in the 4 hour. So dropping down to the 15, as you can see here, price right at 5:30 wicked on both ends for uh, inducement to the market. Essentially, uh, high level wise, to my understanding, price or the data was in line with everyone's expectation for adding support for the Fed to lower rates come September. So market is seeing this as a positive. Um, but main thing that I'm looking to backtest is the manipulation from market makers, and main steps is drawn liquidity on focused gaps, breakers, which is this 4 hour fair value BISI. Um, and they use this inducement level to draw on liquidity. And when I say draw on liquidity, as you can see here on the higher time frame, right, it shows wick for the 15 and the 4. We're going to drop down to the lower and see how this looks like. But after the manipulation side of this will then draw up for this level here to make new highs. As you can see here, this also falls in line with ICT's silver bullet scenario. So understanding more on how from higher to lower time frames and manipulation all come together here. But keynote here, again, price coming out here uh, on the 15-minute, pairing it up with the 4 hour. You can see in real time that this will close right at 7:30. So let's see how this looks on the lower time frame. Again, price closes at 7:35 right here. Again, displacement candle drawing liquidity, right? This is the area where we're going to want to look at right here. And there's actually another area here that seems to be in line with our edge. Essentially, with price coming back down, this is another area for a breaker, making new highs, and from going low and breaking new highs, this is now considered a breaker being broken and showing this as a respect. So this is probably uh, another entry that I could have made, but did not. Um, I unfortunately got wrecked earlier today. I thought this was the inducement, or not the inducement, but the drawn liquidity. But just a friendly reminder to myself, right? Drawn liquidity needs to have a very strong candle and then an immediate return, and hence why this is the perfect inducement versus this. Um, so we'll come back to this one. We'll go to the first entry here. So 5 minute shows displacement candle. Typically, what I want to see is a displacement candle with a fair value gap. So seeing that and then once it has a displacement candle, breaks short-term high. So 5 minute, it didn't show. right here. Perfect. Inducement, immediate trail high. Again, seeing that price goes down, takes out the liquidity in the fair value gap, respects it, showing this beautiful wick and immediate green, right? This is telling me that price is now looking to respect this. And based on that, that should be uh, a good entry for me to enter. This is something that I'm a little bit not as confident on the entry just yet. If I drop down to the lower time frame for a more cleaner look, as you can see here, right, draws on displacement, fills that gap, breaks short-term high right here. This gap right here, fair value gap, gets filled. And then one other thing that I've noticed that's been repeating is this right here. In the fair value gap, once it's filled, typically price will look to either stay above this edge or also within the consequent encroachment. But either way, entering here at the gap, right, for it to trail higher, or here, right, that would be a really nice setup as well. As you can see here, the gap that I'm more referring to is this guy right here. So technically, if you want to be right down to the pinpoint of it, this would have been it. Again, 48, 48 to 42. I mean, the risk to reward there versus your DOL here, that's a RR that I'm willing to risk, right? But let's say this isn't, I missed this, right? Realizing that this is also trailing higher, let's go back to the 5. Let's say I want confirmation. Breaks new high right here, right? So let's dive into when it retraces down here, see what this looks like. Again, going back to this breaker right here. If broken right here, this could have been an entry right here, 458, 451. It's $300, but 458 to 78 right here, that's $1,000 right here. This entire move, clean, all within the highlighted blue area for the time that I'm typically ready to enter, right? Um, if followed, if following your rules, would have exited right after $1,000 mark. Um, yeah. So again, main caveats to this is higher time frame, right? What is price doing? When I say higher time frame, if you're doing intraday, higher time frame. What are the key areas? Again, with this fair value gap here as well, the higher time frame, might be asking, well, how do I know if this wasn't going to go down here? Well, essentially, um, seeing that price has already moved up, it has taken all these orders. So this is fully balanced here, right? So there's no need to come back here. Again, market makers look at key data to make new moves. And so by using this is their manipulation to get people to buy in. They take out these orders, make new highs, and seeing that right before the end of the market, I believe we have one more set of data tomorrow, and that will confirm whether or not we'll be making more new moves. Key note on this as well from the 4 or 15 minute, right? This is also a breaker right here, breaking new highs for a short term. Doubt it's going to go that low though. If this is really going to be a bullish move, all of this liquidity is sitting here ready to be taken out for bulls. And that's all I got.